like you said, the top two teams in the last 3 weeks, Belconnen and Canberra FC. So the form's not as bad as it looks on paper, but a 0-0 draw with Tuggeranong. And I understand that Michael Aldridge's team battled really, really hard to get that point. They're in action today. 3 other matches today. Canberra FC play Canberra United Academy. That's second versus third. Monero Panthers play Tuggeranong United, and Woden Western take on Belconnen, who are looking for a point that they need to win the championship. Shouldn't be too much of an issue for them, the form that they're in, to get a point from the final 3 rounds.
No, you'd fancy them to wrap it up today.
Here's Dawson on the break. Finds Ryan. Just poked it away from the covering defender, who was Sander. And here's a chance for Olympic on the run. McLaughlin cutting infield. Chance for her to bend one towards the far post. In fact, she went near post instead and didn't catch out Tanini.
But that comes from a half-decent Gungahlin attack, where they've actually had the ball under control in the opposition penalty area, and then on the break have found themselves one-on-one at the back. And McLaughlin might be a little disappointed that she hasn't at least made the goalkeeper work.
Talking of important games as well, at Greenway this start, Canberra, I think it may be. Is it Greenway? I'm not sure where they're playing, actually.
Greenway.
It is Greenway. Tuggeranong United play Monero Panthers in the Men's Premier League. That's a huge match for Tuggeranong, who need the 3 points to keep their top 4 position safe ahead of a huge round of matches next weekend. We'll try and keep you up to date with what's going on there. And this massive game in the WMPL as well. Here's Guo. It's to push it forwards, but midfield, and she's done really well this season in all the games I've seen, to be fair. Playing either as a left-sided fullback or a left-sided midfielder. She's more central today, it would seem. Here's Lynch, looking to find DeMarco. Into the penalty area. Can't keep it in play, though. Nice bit of defending just to ease her off the ball.
Yeah, use the body well, and just the light weight of DeMarco just couldn't handle that sort of superior body strength. And unfortunately for Gungahlin, runs it out for a goal kick. But Gungahlin just working their way slowly back into the game, and they look like they've got goals in them.
It's Grace Basser-Silk that eased her off the ball, playing in a more advanced role than she has in recent weeks. She needs to be on her toes here. Here she is. Trying to battle for the ball down by the touchline. Nice little chip over the top there from Corbett. Looking to find Patterson on the run. Olympic managed to clear. It's going to only fire Corbett again. Nods it to herself. Well, Rojan anticipated. Hooked back into the danger area, and Guel's there defending once more. Now Fauna looks to send McLaughlin into the channel. Percival's going to come across, and the centre-back does well just to knock it off the toe of Meg McLaughlin.
Yeah, nice piece of cover. Did really well, because McLaughlin, as we know, has got enough power and strength and speed to actually go past defenders, so that was an important interception.
Battle between McLaughlin and the 2 central defenders, Moore and Percival, may be crucial this afternoon. Here's Patterson. We're going to find Lynch. Back to Moore. Or to Percival, rather. Now here's Patterson. To sweep it towards Pennyfield, but Jameson is there. Dawson in the centre circle. Rojan from Gual. Nice turn from McLaughlin. Ryan's made the run forward. Tries her luck first time. It's dipping. And it was just over the crossbar. It had Tonini worried, didn't it?
Yeah, backpedaling at a rapid rate of knots there. Not sure whether it was going to be on target. Fortunately for the keeper, Tonini, it's just drifted wide.
Similar kind of finish to what we saw from the chap at Rockdale City Suns against Sydney in the FFA Cup in the week. The little first opening, really. Well, second, I should say, after McLaughlin's side netting. Olympic starting strongly.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they've started with an orthodox 4-3-3, probably with 2 pivots, and I think matched by Gungahlin, who are doing something very, very similar. But both teams just making a midfield battle at the moment, and neither have been able to establish any sort of dominance.
DeMarco. Fauna closes her down. Guo wins the header. Now Dawson, as I said, in a more central role today. Rojan. Now Basser-Silk. We mentioned it before, Steve, when we did the Woden Western game. They're all comfortable on the ball, this Olympic 11.
Yeah, and that's really obvious. The difference between the two teams at the moment is probably Olympic are quite prepared to knock the ball around, look composed, put the foot on it, find a little bit of time, whereas Gungahlin are just playing with a little bit of haste rather than urgency.
McLaughlin looking to turn her marker. trying to get away from Moore. Percival's across to help out, and it's going to be the first corner, is it? It is. First opportunity from the set piece. Alexia Forner will go across to take.
With the aerial power that Olympic bring to the game, set pieces are going to be an advantage for them.
Well, Forner will look to deliver. And it's a good one too. It's dipping and swerving. Great corner. Moore got a head on it. It's going to fall for McLaughlin. Tries to fire it back, but not on target. Lovely delivery there from Forner. Had the keeper
ball.
And defender in all sorts of trouble, and great defending from Olivia Moore to head it clear.
Yeah, and I think with a little bit more application and attacking the ball in those sorts of areas, Olympic can get something out of it. But well defended in the end, and no harm done. McLaughlin again in the right spot to pick up the pieces and has fired one just wide of the left-hand post.
Continuing the vein of the quality set pieces we saw last night at McKellar from Dustin Wells and Marty Rains, caused all sorts of issues to the Riverina defence.
How many was there?
I lost count. I think it was 142 last count. There were so many, wasn't there? There was an awful lot of set pieces.
Dusty knocked up running across the pitch.
Got himself a couple of goals. Good game last night, 5-2. Very entertaining match. Steve Forshaw was leading the Belconnen team in the absence of Ulysses De Silva, who was sick as well. His Forner advancing forward, striking one from range, and a thumping effort from Alexia Forner fizzes into the top corner. It's first blood to Canberra Olympic. They lead in this massive match at Gungahlin.
That was an absolute rocket from Forner in midfield. She's picked it up. She hasn't been put under pressure, and she's taken advantage of that and knocked it right in the top corner of on the left-hand side of the post, giving the goalkeeper absolutely no chance at all. Great goal.
Only her second goal of the season, and what a time to bag one. It is an absolute perler. Alexia Forner. Well, if Grace Maher's watching at home, she'd have been happy with that, wouldn't she?
Well, we saw, didn't we, knock one in from about 35 metres the last time they played, and I think it was her last game before she got ill.
It certainly was. It was an absolute fizzer from Forner. 1-0. What have Gungahlin got in response?
Emphasis is really on them now to push on.
Patterson
try and get something out of it.
Well, swung in towards DeMarco. Chase was on out wide. Sander sends it back in towards DeMarco. It's prodded clear by Vecchi. Pressure's on once more. Here's Corbett. McLaughlin's back to challenge. Sander steps away from Ryan. Still going. Pennyfield in support. Would rather fizz that one at Jacobson's head.
Yeah, didn't give her much of a chance to bring that down, that's for sure.
Rojan looks for McLaughlin to chase this one. Moore does well defensively there and sends it out of play. Good early start for Olympic. They'll be happy with that.
Yeah, capped off by a cracking goal. But I think since then, and it's only been a short time, I know, but Gungahlin have looked to get the ball down and play a little bit more. And we saw in that last passage of play some nice combinations, some nice possession until that last pass sort of let them down.
Here's DeMarco. Bunker was going away there. I think there was an accidental clash with her and Vecchi. It was the first real touch of the afternoon for Gabby O'Brien. Keating, I haven't mentioned her much in the first 10 minutes either. No.
She marshals the back four quite well, though. Even if she's not on the ball a lot, she actually keeps them nice and compact and moves them up and down the pitch quite well.
Bassa Silk was closed down by Charlotte Lynch.
And I might be accused of bias there because she is our physio.
I mentioned it last night when she was out doing a bit of treatment on a couple of players, and she had a big game today. Looking to help her team towards what will be 3 points, 3 big points at this stage of the season. At the moment, they have control of it. Alexia Forner's thunderous drive after 11 minutes. Probably what the early play from Olympic has deserved.
Couldn't have asked for a better start, really, could they?
Gone out meaning business. Here's McLaughlin. Doesn't look particularly sick, does she? She's
doing
putting a lot of effort in, isn't she?
And it remains to be seen because all this early effort may tell as the game goes on, but she looks in the peak of fitness at the moment.
Nice touch as well. She's such a big, important part of what Olympic do. She's made a huge difference and she's come into the side halfway through the season. That out-and-out goal scorer that they were missing. And something you need when you get to finals. If you've got an out-and-out goal scorer, we've mentioned it numerous times over the course of the year, it does make a huge difference.
It does indeed. And we saw, certainly in the post-World Cup analysis, the criticism of Australia was that they didn't have that out-and-out goal scorer, and it really is important.
I'm not sure that the Socceroos have had an out-and-out goal scorer for a number of years now. Since maybe Josh Kennedy was the last one. Nice dummy by Bunker, who's Gungahlon's equivalent. As I said, she's been in fine form as well. 7 in the last 7, 8 overall this season. Took her a while to get going, but when she did, she started to find the net with regularity.
7 in 7 is a good return.
Yeah, especially considering that most of those goals, I've said in the last couple of weeks, have been one against Belconnen. There's a hat-trick against Monero. There's a couple against Tuggeranong as well, and there was one against the Academy last week. So she's scoring against decent opposition as well. So if they can find her an opportunity today, she may be the answer to pull them level. As it is, live on Bar TV Sports, it's Gungahlon Canberra Olympic 1 in this race for the top left of the women's after this, and the men only have 1 to go. Here's Ryan, wins another corner.
Yeah, it really has been a year of really competitions. I mean, I think Belconnen in the women's have been dominant from the word go. What the makeup of the top 4 will be.
Here's the latest corner. Fauna's going to swing this one in. Not quite interesting.
You would have banked on her scoring from there, on the left foot.
Especially on the left, I was going to say, yeah. Sat up nicely as well, rather snatched at it, Meg McLaughlin. Second top goal scorer in the WMPL, behind Aoife Colville at the Academy, who's now on 34 for the season.
That's not a bad return.
Pretty good in only 18 games, games, and she's not even played all of those. She'll be looking to add to her tally today.
If you're averaging 2 goals a game and your team's not top, there's something wrong somewhere, isn't it? She's
certainly one of a number of players that have been scoring goals in that team. There's 3 or 4 of them with a decent return this season in the Canberra United Academy, scoring lots and lots of goals, conceding a few, though, unfortunately for them, which is why they find themselves 3rd. But they can qualify for finals for the first time this year. That's a nice ball from Moore, looking for Patterson. Runners ahead of her.
In those areas where she go, they've shown enough in terms of football ability that they can.
We've got some goals in the Women's Premier League. Speaking of as well, it's Canberra FC 1, Canberra United Academy 1 over there at Deakin. No score in the other matches at the moment, including the men's MPL between Tuggeranong and Monero Panthers. So there we go, we talk her up and she scores another one, Steve.
Well, I mean, if you've scored 34 already, then she's obviously a consistent goal scorer, so it comes as no surprise that you might get her 35th.
I mean, if you said to someone at the start of the season that in a 21-game season you might get 40 goals, you'd be pretty happy with that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
She's well on the way to that with 2.5 games to go.
You sure?
Or 3.5 for them.
Ronaldo.
Might be the equivalent. I'm sure it won't be the last time we've heard of Aoife Colville. Only a youngster as well. She'll be pushing for more W League appearances this season. And perhaps even further.
Well, with that sort of return, that sort of goal-scoring ability, you'd have to think that there is the prospect of international recognition.
You'd think so. Matildas aren't struggling for goal scorers, though, are they? Sam Kerr in red-hot form for them.
Yeah, I watched the Japan game during the week. I didn't see the other games, but I watched the Japan game, and Australia played quite well, only to be pipped at the post on goal difference by a very strong United States team.
It's a good ball that from Jacobson, looking for Lynch. Wins a team of throw-in. Gungahlon looking for a response. Patterson at the back. Infield to DeMarco. Dawson closes her down quickly, though. DeMarco's going to get a second opportunity. Good shadowing by Guo. Percival.
She looks handy, DeMarco. Very composed on the ball. Picks out a nice pass.
Pennyfield and Jacobson combined, but it's a little bit short in the distance for Jameson, who gets there first and just sends it forward, looking for Guo to chase. Patterson asked a fair bit of Tanini there, who had to be on her toes. Here is DeMarco. Just draws Dawson before releasing the ball. DeMarco again. Drifts past a couple of challenges. Finds Patterson. A couple of runners ahead. But Bassa Silk was in the way. That midfield battle still a big scrap. Neither side really getting to grips with it. Dawson to Fauna, who's looked the class player at the moment, Alexia Fauna. But this Gungahlin have it back again. And almost immediately cough it up. Fauna won it in midfield. And then they give it away again.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like that, isn't it, at the moment?
It is. Maybe the occasion just get into one or two of the girls because they're just playing far too quickly for what the game really requires. It's really about composure, getting the foot on the ball, just keep in possession for a little while.
Rojan tries to do that, but Guo's return pass is picked off by Jacobson. Here's Lynch. Only one runner ahead of her, and that's Bunker into the channel. Vecchi's come across. Pennyfield's made the run to the top of the box.
Unfortunately, it's not a bad ball in, but there's it was the wrong option because there was nobody in there to actually take advantage. You'd be better off being a little bit more patient.
And the only person there was Jameson. She trotted across to take the throw. Gets it back from Keating.
They got away quite nicely down this left-hand flank, though. And there's something in it for them if they can do that on a more consistent basis and then get people in to the danger areas.
Patterson won the ball. Jameson sends it back. And Percival has it for Gungahlin. Lifts to lift it towards DeMarco. It's asking a lot for her, though.
I can understand why they're doing that, though. DeMarco looks to be the best of the playmakers in the Gungahlin side, and if they can get her on the ball, I'm sure she can free Bunker and create some chances for her.
DeMarco wins the header. Here is Bunker, looking to give it back to DeMarco, but Vecchi was there. Heavy from Guel. There's Rojan. She has the ability to calm things down. Footballing now from Sally Rojan. Here she is again, receiving it from Keating. Looking to put McLaughlin through. It might come for Ryan instead. Vanessa Ryan's touch. Out comes Tanini and does well to get there. Almost broke rather carny there for Ryan.
It did. It did. And you sometimes get rewards if you put in the effort like that.
Gagana might have an issue here. Rachel Corbett, who went over on an ankle a moment ago, is struggling in the middle of the park. The number 2 with a heavily bandaged left knee. Keep an eye on that as Gungahlin come forward with Lynch. The pass infield, though, was picked off by Dawson. And there was Patterson to cover. There's Percival. I think Corbett just rolled her ankle in a challenge in the middle of the park with Fauna, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
A couple of minutes ago.
She get up quite ginger.
Still not running too freely at the moment. That's a nice little 1-2 there. Chance for Sander to cut inside.
Really need to be attacking the penalty area with more gusto than that and closing down that sort of space because on the counter Olympic will catch them out.
Dawson tried to drift past the challenge of DeMarco, who's got into a more central role, which I think we're where she needs to be to dictate what's happening ahead of her. As you said, Steve, certainly looks neat and tidy on the ball. Here she is looking to slide one through, but on this occasion it was picked off.
Just a little bit too casual there, wasn't she? But she does look a decent player.
Good ball forward by Rojan, looking for McLaughlin. Shadowed by Patterson. Cuts in field, McLaughlin. She likes to do this. Runs into a bit of trouble, and that was well done by Corbett, who looks fully recovered now. Jacobson's ball forward. Pennyfield helps it wide, but haven't really got her into the game yet, Erica Pennyfield, on that right-hand side, and she's a match changer as well.
In fact, most of the more effective attacks have been down this left-hand side, this grandstand side from the Gungahlin point of view. And then to balance it out, they can probably push the fullbacks on that side.
Here is Pennyfield. Gives it away to Rojan. Two evenly matched sides. They keep giving it away to each other as well. Here's Percival. It's almost like a basketball game at the moment, the way the possession is drifting from one team to the other. Bassa Silk under pressure from Lynch, who does well. Charlotte Lynch looking to swing this into the box. Good ball towards Pennyfield, who came in on it, and Jamieson did enough. It's a corner for Gungahlin, though, is it? No, changes his mind. It's a goal kick. Good ball in from Lynch, though.
Yeah, really good. Really good. Once again, down this left-hand side, they've got found Lynch, and she's actually put a decent cross in, and they had better presence in the box as well that time. But since the goal, Gungahlin have actually just come back into the game, and they look like they're up for it, up for the fight.
It's a good run from Pennyfield as well, across the blind side of the defender, and Jamieson, though, saw her coming. She's been another who's been solid throughout the season for Canberra Olympic, Victoria Jamieson. Here she is, looking to send that one forward.
That might well explain why Gungahlin are predominantly coming down the left. Maybe they think there's more joy in that.
We don't seem to be playing with much of a left-sided player at the moment, do they, in defence? Olympic, it's either Bassasilk who's dropping out there, or Vecchi at the moment. It's almost a 3 at the back when they're attacking.
Yeah.
Here's Rojan. Like I said, Dawson, who we've seen have a lot of joy down the flank, has been more central. It's been neat and tidy in there, but it kind of curtails her speed, doesn't it? Being in that central role.
Yeah, they could do with a little bit of pace outside. Guo is doing okay on this side, but she doesn't look to have the pace to go past a defender. And on the other side, they just look like they lack a little bit of pace, but they've got decent technique. So Lily Dawson's pace, I think, would be a major asset if they can get her into those wide areas. But like you say, she's playing predominantly central now.
Might be something that they change later on in the game. Don't need to at the moment, though. Canberra Olympic leading 1-0. Alexia Furna's stunning strike in the 11th minute. The difference between the two sides in this crunch match at the top of the WMPL live on Bar TV Sports. It's 4th versus 5th. Winner in the box seat in the final couple of rounds for finals football. Here's DeMarco looking to slide it through. Pennyfield is in on this, but Keating's across there to defend. And that should be a goal kick.
Yes. Get good cover again from Beck Keating. But again, DeMarco picking up that ball in good areas and then playing that penetrating pass. Just didn't quite have the quality, didn't find the target, but that's the way forward for them.
Just a reminder elsewhere, Canberra FC 1, Canberra United Academy 1. Haven't heard anything yet from Monero Panthers, Tuggeranong, Woden West and Belconnen in the women's. And no goals between Tuggeranong and the Panthers in the men's. Next week's fixtures on Saturday, Canberra United Academy versus Tuggeranong United, Belconnen v Canberra FC in the women's. And on Sunday, Gungahlin United play Woden West and Canberra Olympic play Monero Panthers. It just goes to show how important this one is here today. Olympic would fancy themselves against Monero Panthers, although they have lost to them this season.
I think a lot will depend on this result. I mean, the confidence, if they can win this, will take them a long way next week.
Well, here they are. Lynch looking to get in behind the back here onto the left foot, but the angle too tight. It just goes to show, Steve, we were talking about earlier on about how the men's competition has been so difficult to predict, but you look at the women's competition as well. You see a team like Canberra Olympic playing against Monero, 7th on the ladder, and 3-2 Monero beat them in round 6. So it just goes to show that the results are there. And Tuggeranong last week taking a point off of Gungahlin United in 5th. So it is an opportunity for every side in this league to get points off of each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Belconnen, who've dominated the women's game in Canberra for the last umpteen years, have also dropped points. You know, I mean, I know it's only been the one draw, but that just shows that the competition is evening out.
This one's been fairly entertaining to watch. Credit to Shane Lyson-Smith in the middle there. He's let it flow so far. He's not had any major decisions to make though, has he?
No. Like you say, he's let the game flow. There hasn't been a lot of controversial moments or physical challenges to deal with. And primarily, he's having a pleasant Sunday afternoon in the sunshine.
Sander finds DeMarco. Looking to slide the ball to Pennyfield. And her return pass to Sander. She's not quite on her game at the moment, Erica Pennyfield, on that right-hand side.
No, that was a bit of a waste, I must admit. Not bad, won't be on the highlight reels for Pennyfield because she received a decent ball in from DeMarco and really had the better of a defender even to turn, but she should have made the pass stick.
Ball's hooked forward by Corbett towards DeMarco. Back to Corbett again, thankfully fully recovered from that earlier knock. It's going to bounce for Bunker. Here is Pennyfield. Better touch that time. Finds DeMarco. Gungahlin putting some pressure on. Good ball in, asking a lot. It's bouncing around. Here's a chance for Pennyfield to strike. And that was on target. Keating got enough on it to block it. And Jamieson sends it forward, and it's still in play. Good return ball from DeMarco. Vecchi's there. Corbett.
Good pressure. Good pressure from
Here it is
Gungahlin.
again. Corbett. Bunker was there and tried to turn it goalwards, but only succeeded in heading it wide. But better from Gungahlin.
2 chances in the space of a matter of moments, and Gungahlin just starting to exert a little bit of pressure, and they'll be looking forward to the next 10 or 15 minutes as we go towards half-time, thinking that they might be able to go into the sheds on at least level.
Timely intervention from Keating, wasn't it? Because that strike from Pennyfield looked goal-bound.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why she's there, is it not? She's there to make sure that the defence stays solid, and she did the job perfectly that time.
She's taking the goal kicks, whether or not there's a problem with Gabby O'Brien, or whether just O'Brien doesn't fancy them.
Well, that would be a problem.
Here come Gungahlin. They actually had the best of the last 5 minutes or so. Good response to them.
Yeah.
Here's DeMarco pulling the strings
Absolutely.
in the middle of the park. As I said, that she gives it away. Sorry. Apologise that. That's the commentator's curse, isn't it? It happens every week to us.
Well, I actually think it was a decent ball. It was just that overlapping fullback had stopped the run. So I think she's seen her set off and hasn't been able to sort of... with.
DeMarco. Good battle, and Fauna wins that one and steps away. Her goal proving the difference. Nicely done by Fauna.
Rojan, DeMarco in the standouts in the first half an hour of the game. So we can look forward, I think, to some more attractive football.
It's Fauna to Rojan there. Now McLaughlin. Rojan. Better build-up. But they're nullifying that middle of the park as quickly as they can, and that was Bunker getting involved. Rojan wins it back again. Quick feet from Fauna. Gual wins the throw again. But Gungahlin have obviously done their homework. They're not letting Olympic settle in the middle of that park.
No, I think when we watched Olympic play Woden, McLaughlin was given far too much room, and it was an inexperienced defence on that occasion. But Gungahlin have actually looked at the reputation of McLaughlin, seen how many goals she scored, and said, we've just got to keep her quiet. And certainly, although she hasn't played badly, she hasn't been in the game as much as Olympic would like.
1 half chance early on when she went into the side netting, and that's about it from Meg McLaughlin so far. But 21 goals this season would suggest you want to keep your eye on her. Here's Dawson with DeMarco. To the smaller players on the pitch, and great bit of skill between DeMarco to get away, but then stumbles at the inopportune moment. Here's Bassa Silk. Good ball towards McLaughlin. Pulls it back in towards a dangerous area where Ryan was lurking. Dawson looks to shift it onto the left. Goes back for Rojan, who tries her luck, and it's just wide of the target.
Well covered by Tanini, I think, but good build-up by Olympic. A lovely pass into McLaughlin, and the little cross. Well dealt with by the defence, but the second phase of the attack, Olympic just failing to hit the target.
Thought Dawson might pull the trigger on the edge of the box there, but elected to give it to Rojan instead, who did.
And you were saying that she's yet to find the back of the net this season?
She's fairly distraught she didn't pick one up against Woden when she was through a couple of times. It'll come though eventually, I'm sure. There's Patterson. Finds DeMarco. She doesn't need to be scoring the goals if she's setting them up for McLaughlin like she did the other week.
Absolutely.
Here's Lynch. Had a good return herself this season, Charlotte Lynch. 4 goals. Jacobson. That's nicely done. DeMarco peeled off to this near side. Back to Jacobson again. DeMarco once more. Better possession, and that's a good-looking ball to Patterson. Great pass from DeMarco. Patterson looks to take on Guo, who concedes the corner. And they, for the risk of repeating ourselves, Steve, they really need to get DeMarco on the ball as much as possible if they want to get back into this.
Yeah, the more she's on the ball, the better chances they're going to have. She's actually the creative influence in the side, and she's played extremely well. The unfortunate thing at the moment is she hasn't got anybody to play with that's actually doing enough to create chances.
Pennyfield with a set piece. Met at the near post by Rojan. Back towards Pennyfield. Guo is there. And it's just thumped up the park and away by Bassasilk. Moore clears it, but only as far as Fauna. Now McLaughlin. Fauna again. This is dangerous. McLaughlin looked like she was offside. It matters not as Percival sees her off anyway. Here is McLaughlin again, though. Picks up the loose ball. Looks to take on Percival. Does her on the near side. Swings it in towards Ryan. Sander was there. And that's a slice clearance by DeMarco. It's coming straight back, though, and straight back out again.
They handled that pretty well, Gungahlin, in the defensive third. Good cover.
Corbett funds DeMarco. Looks to stand up Fauna. Goes back to Percival. Jameson wins the ball. Then was looking for Ryan to make the run, but he's not going to be able to keep that one in. And it's going to bobble its way out for a goal kick.
She has looked very strong, though, at the left back, Jameson. She's done really well. She's certainly keeping Pennyfield in check at this stage.
So this is about the fifth time I've done Canberra Olympic this season, and she's been impressive in every match defensively. Not one of the team's more well-known players on paper, but certainly put her name up in lights this year and expect plenty more from her. Lynch wins the header. It's Bassasilk in midfield to Rojan. Fauna. Olympic starting to pick the holes. Dawson tries to roll the challenge. DeMarco's back there, though, in a defensive capacity as well. Both ends of the pitch, Natalie DeMarco. And that's a good ball from Lynch looking for bunker.
Now they've got to get numbers forward.
Pretty isolated, all on her own. Right in the corner and challenged by Vecchi.
Gets the free kick, I think.
A bit of a soft one.
It was a little bit of a bump there, but not much in it. But it does give them now an opportunity to flood into the penalty area because they were struggling to get there. And I thought Bunker did extremely well to turn out there and stay patient.
Yeah, hold the ball up and bring her team into play. Now Patterson has the opportunity from this free kick. But into the wind, you can see the corner flags are... We don't feel it up here, but it looks quite blowy down there. And Patterson will deliver. Has she got something up her sleeve?
No, but a nice header from Dawson, and a much-needed header, and cleared the lines. And maybe this wind, as it picks up, will have an effect in the first half. And we've seen Fauna hit one from distance that street into the top corner, and maybe that was wind-assisted as well.
Absolutely fizzed in early. It's a goal that separates us live on Bar TV Sports, WNPL Football, 4th v 5th, and it's 4th place side 1-0 up. Ryan finds McLaughlin. This is the position she likes to be in, running at defenders, but... That is well done by young Olivia Moore to see her off. Got a touch on it to concede the corner, so chance for Olympic to flood the area again, and Fauna will no doubt trot across to take this one.
Yeah, the linesman on this side indicated goal kick, but the referee in a good position to actually overrule.
Ryan Lindenmeyer and Eamon White on the line today. Some young referees getting an opportunity. And the two assistants. Here's Fauna then with the latest corner. Looks a good one again, swings it in. Tonini got a fist on it. It's going to fall for McLaughlin. First touch rather let her down. And she was charged down the second time, but she comes back for another bite of the cherry. Dawson's there to pick up the loose ball. Patterson's touch is going to fall for Rojan. Now Vecchi. Rojan again. Corbett on her immediately. Fauna. Bit of space for her. Tries to put Ryan in, but Sander sticks a foot out and deflects the ball out for a throw.
That's twice we've seen from corners now with Olympic, where they've had good delivery in. The goalkeeper's actually done well to get fists on it. But McLaughlin, the proven goal scorer, has been free at the far post, and I think that's something that Gungahlin needs to rectify.
She's not gone into the penalty area at all, really, has she, to challenge for any of the balls into the box so far, McLaughlin. She's just been happy to look for the second ball, the loose ball in the area.
It may well be a function of the fact that she's not quite 100%.
Vecchi. Looks for Dawson. Nice turn by Lily Dawson. And she tries a chip from distance, and Tonini catches. Better effort, though.
Yeah, good effort. Good effort. She made the space well for herself, and she's got it on target. She'll be happy with that.
Olympic turning the screw in the shadows of half-time. Here's Jacobson. Looking to send that one forward, and Bunker might be in here. Here's a chance for Melissa Bunker. She tries the first-time effort, and why not as well? When you've got 7 from your last 7, it was worth an effort. Didn't get it on target, but nice idea.
Yeah, it was. I think she saw the goalkeeper start to come, and then the goalkeeper retreated, and by that time she'd made up her mind that it was going to be a first-time effort. And to be fair, on target, it would have caused some problems. We saw something similar last night with Wells in the first half, where he got away down the Belconnen right and hit a first-time volley that went just over. And, you know, people were saying that was a good effort, and certainly they should be given the same sort of credit to Bunker.
The vision was good, wasn't it? The
Yeah,
anticipation was there, just the execution was lacking a little bit, but a bit of a warning sign perhaps for Olympic that if they leave her free, she's got the ability.
And certainly the ball over the top caught Olympic out.
It's a good one from Jacobson. Here's Sander. She's after it again, but Keating has come across.
Again, good cover. Good cover, but there are spaces in behind the Olympic fullbacks that they might be able to exploit.
4 minutes to go till half-time here at Gungahlin enclosed. Well, a cloud in the sky.
It's a lovely Canberra day.
Chance for McLaughlin, but read by Percival, who did well, not once but twice.
Great touch.
DeMarco once more. Here's Pennyfield. Bunker's battle with Bassa Silk, who conceded. Again, perhaps a little soft. Looked like a 50-50 from here.
It might have been a bit soft, but I think the referee's done really well, so I'm not going to criticise him, which is a bit unusual for me.
Very unusual for you, Steve. Patterson with the free kick. Bassa Silk certainly didn't think she'd fouled her. But that matters not, because she's not in charge. Fauna looked nice turn. Guo. Bunker back defending. And that's a nice spin and pivot from Bassa Silk to Dawson, who looks to get away from Jacobson and does. Now she looks to go past Percival, and she does that as well. Ryan's ahead. Tried to find McLaughlin instead. Sander had to be careful. And Ryan's pass is out of play for a throw. Dawson's done well in the middle of the park there. She looks quite lively, turning and twisting.
Looks like a lot of potential. She looks a very, very decent young player.
As does Natalie DeMarco, who's turning on this one. Robbed this time.
To my mind, Ross, she's been the best player on the park, DeMarco.
It's a ball forward looking for Bunker. And Keating just stretches out that rangy stride to cover any potential problems. O'Brien not wasting any time. Fauna, the goal scorer. Just shows a little bit too much of it to DeMarco, who battles away and wins his team a free kick. Getting involved all over the park.
Well, she's industrious, she's technically proficient, she can find a pass. She is the one that Olympic are going to have to stop if they're going to win this game, go on to win this game. And they're in the box seat.
Moore at the back for Gungahlin. His pass goes under the foot of Ryan. And Jameson helps it out. Into the final 30 seconds of the first half. The goal from Alexia Fauna. The difference between the two sides, as we expected, not much between them, Steve.
No, in fact, the very little. I mean, on the scoreboard it's 1-0, and that probably isn't an unfair reflection of how the game's gone. Gungahlin certainly, after the goal was conceded, came back into the game and have had enough possession and have created enough half chances to suggest that the second half everything's to play for. And Olympic, for their part, have been well in this game as well. So that it's been a very, very even contest with some really good performance by individuals, particularly DeMarco from a Gungahlin point of view as they break forward on the right.
With Sander, the ball was wide from bunker. And there's the quality of Jamieson that we were talking about. And the referee, Shane Lyson-Smith, says that'll do for the first half. And you were just summing it up rather nicely there, Steve. It was the only goal from Alexia Forner that separates the teams. But as we said, not much in it.
No. And I think Gungahlin have had more joy down their left than they have down the right. And they can put that down to the excellent defending of Jamieson. DeMarco has been pulling the strings in midfield for them. Rojon has looked really good for Olympic. Forner has scored an absolute cracker, and that's the only thing between the two teams as we go into the halftime break.
We said at the top of the broadcast that this one would be a season-defining moment for both sides. It won't be decided today, but it's Canberra Olympic who have the upper hand. They, at the moment, are going 3 points clear in fourth in this battle and race for the top four between the fourth and fifth place teams at half-time at Gungahlin Enclosed. It's Gungahlin United 0, Canberra Olympic 1. Welcome back to Gungahlin Enclosed for WMPL Football Live on Bar TV Sports. Second half about to get underway as the little Joey's soccer players come off the field, having had a good kick around at half-time. Some quality little footballers there, Steve.
Yeah, under 7s, under 9s, enjoying themselves in the winter sunshine. Fantastic to see.
My name's Russ Gibbs. I'm your lead commentator this afternoon, and Steve Forshaw, head coach of Belconnen United, or I should say assistant head coach of Belconnen United, and technical director. What else are you doing over there? Under 18s head coach,
chief cook, and bottle washer.
Bottle washer. The only thing you don't do is the physiotherapy, because Beck Keating out there for Canberra Olympic is the physiotherapist over at Belconnen United. The teams are out for the second half. Canberra Olympic lineup as follows: O'Brien in goal, Dawson, Keating, Vecchi, Jameson, Rojan, Fauna, Bassasilk, Ryan, McLaughlin and Guo. Fauna's goal separating the two teams. Gungahlin United just casting my eye around to see if they've made any changes. Doesn't look like it. Tonini in goal, Sander, Moore, Percival, Patterson, Corbett, Jacobson, DeMarco, Pennyfield, Bunker, Lynch, Steve. At half-time we were talking about where this game can be won and lost in the second half, and you think that Natalie DeMarco is going to have a huge impact.
I do. I think from Gungahlin's point of view, they need to get her on the ball, as we were saying in the first half. And Bunker looks to have the wherewithal to get in and trouble the Olympic back four. So if they can get those two combining well in the right areas of the pitch, I give them a chance. From an Olympic point of view, McLaughlin's power up front, the midfield ability of Rojan and Fauna, ably assisted by Lily Dawson, I think has been really effective. And if they can maintain that sort of dominance or a control in that particular part of the ground, then they may have the wherewithal to win the game. So
we're off and running in the second half. Latest news from the Men's Premier League at half-time. Tuggeranong United 0, Monero Panthers 0. It's a bit of a surprise at the moment. There'll be those of Tuggeranong United persuasion getting a little bit nervous, but they need a win today. They don't want to be going to Deakin Stadium next week needing to win.
And long way to go in it, though.
And big news from Woden Park, where Belconnen United women's team, as expected, have wrapped up the league championship today with a 4-0 win over Woden Western. So congratulations to Anthony Jagarinik and all his players for Belconnen United, the standard bearer for football, women's football in Canberra, not just this year, but for many years in the past as well.
Yeah, that's a great win for the girls and Anthony and the staff there, because they've worked very hard this year to actually maintain their dominance of the women's game. So that's great reward for them.
Here's Fauna for Olympic, the goal scorer in the first half, looking to add to her tally. It might drop for Ryan. On the far side it does, and off she goes, looking to return the pass to Fauna into the penalty area here. Still going, Alexia Fauna, and well, there's a fumble there, and oh no, it's a calamity for poor old Kaylee Tonini. Alexia Fauna has forced it in at the near post. It is a massively crucial goal for Canberra Olympic. Gives them a second of the afternoon, but it was a horrible bobble for the goalkeeper, and unfortunate for her that that's the way Olympic extend their lead.
And that could just about be the sealer. A very, very over the line at the near post. But a little bit of credit to Fauna, who persevered, got a shot away. And if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle.
Well, how important will that goal be in the scheme of things? It puts Canberra Olympic 2-0 up in the box seat. And as I said, poor old Tonini with an unfortunate error there. And for Olympic, fires one into the near post. She's behind this one. And that's what you want as a goalkeeper. Straight away, get one in your hands. I'm sure it won't face.
Well, for her teammates need to sort of get around her a little and help her out. They dropped the shoulders straight away, and that wasn't a good sign. So we'll find out now whether they've actually got the sort of character that's needed.
Sanders chasing after this, but Jameson's there. Not the start to the second half that Diego Iglesias and his team would have wanted, of course. I think maybe the shot surprised her a little bit on the near post. Looked like she had it covered.
Yeah.
And it just slipped through her grasp. It happens to all the best goalkeepers all around the world, unfortunately. It's an unforgiving position, Steve.
No, that's right. I mean, you can miss 18 or 19 chances in front of goal and it doesn't affect the scoreline. Goalkeeper makes one mistake and you're suddenly behind the 8 ball. So a lot of sympathy for her, but unfortunately the mistake has become really costly at this stage of the season, given the status of the tables.
If it comes earlier in the year, it doesn't seem to matter, does it?
Well, it's recoverable, isn't it?
Still might be for Gungahlin United. Still plenty of time to go. And they have beaten Olympic twice this season, as we mentioned in the first half. 4-2 in round 5 and 3-2 in round 12.
Well, from that point of view, Olympic have upheld their end of the bargain because they're on 2, so it's up to Gungahlin now to sort of fight back.
Here's McLaughlin, Rojan, DeMarco. Perhaps the best chance for Gungahlin to force their way back into this one. Looks to send it down the line. Keating's there. Fauna. And Vecchi. I was going to say that the next guy for Olympic Giddit is going to be critical, but having watched Belconnen last night, 3-0 still not a done deal, is it, Steve?
No. If no matter what the scoreline is, you invite another team back into it when they're relatively evenly matched, then you're asking for trouble. And Belconnen saw that last night. They switched off and it very nearly paid the price.
Ball up towards Bunker, who won the header.
I'm not expecting Olympics in the WNPL to do the same thing as what Belconnen did last night, though.
Well, we'll see. O'Brien sends it out. 2 goals for Alexia Fauna today. She only had 1 to her name before kickoff. I'm assuming that she'll get that goal. It won't go down as an OG. Denis won't want it, will she?
No. Oh, certainly the shot was on target, so I guess it's Fauna's goal.
Here's Percival. Looking to send it forward. Good run that by Lynch, but the pass just a bit too heavy.
And Bunker's just coming a little bit too deep, I think. That she needs to keep the central defenders occupied, and it's her that they want to get in behind the defenders rather than coming looking to get it at feet.
They almost found her there.
Yeah, and that's a better position for her.
It was Patterson who was trying to force the issue. Now here come Olympic with Rojan looking to slide in. McLaughlin, who's spun away from her marker. Here's Meg McLaughlin. Squares it off to Fauna. Thought about the shot on a hat-trick, Alexia Fauna. And then the pass was easily picked off by Patterson. Lynch clashes into the challenge with Bassasilk, who it's fair to say isn't a fan of that decision.
It looked a little harsh.
It did look a little bit harsh. Big news coming in from Greenway. Well, that's huge news from the men's competition. In the women's competition, it's Olympic in the box seat. 2-0 up here. 2 goals from Alexia Fauna. The difference between these sides. Put into that midfield role today in the absence of Grace Marr and Grace Field, and stepping up to the plate with a couple of goals. Eddie Sedatori must be super pleased that.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's had a good game and probably deserving the goals.
Went to a
performance.
Went to a Tilda's camp earlier in as well, and one for the future as well. Canberra Olympic. Olympics missed early in the second half. Steve Forshaw has vested interest in that one, hoping that Panthers can do something. Here's McLaughlin pushing it past Moore and off and going towards goal. Meg McLaughlin. Here's the pace and power. Cuts inside. Watching the shot away. Still going McLaughlin. Lays it off. It might come for Dawson. Blocked by the defensive effort of Alex Patterson. Thought McLaughlin might pull the trigger there once she cut back inside.
Yeah, I mean, a very unselfish play. I mean, goal scorers, by very definition, are a little selfish when they get into good areas like that, but she did exactly the right thing, and unfortunately for Lily Dawson, she cannot buy a goal.
Desperate to get her on the score sheet, aren't they? Here's Rojan looking to slide it through. It might come back for Rojan again. Here is McLaughlin turning on that left foot, strikes it, and Tanini again struggles with it a little bit down to her left.
Yeah, both times on the left-hand side she's looked in trouble.
Maybe she's carrying a little knock or something we're unaware of. Here's DeMarco. He's a little bit peripheral at the start of the second half. They need her back to the pulling the strings like she was in the first. She won a team a throw.
About saying like I'm stating the obvious here, but if Gungahlin aren't the next on the score sheet, this game's dead and buried from their point of view.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Not only that, is that they'll be 3 points behind and their goal difference is getting markedly worse by the moment. Olympic up to +7, Gungahlin United down to -3. So even if they were to get a catch-up game on Olympic, that 10-goal swing is huge.
Yeah.
Right about now. It's Percival at the back. They play Woden Western next week. Gungahlin United.
That might help the goal difference if they can, if it's anything, you know, the last game we saw Woden play is anything to go by. Although, you know, they've only lost 4-0 against Belconnen today, so they've obviously improved since the Olympic game.
Olympic play Monero Panthers. They'd fancy themselves to get the 3 points there next week.
Yeah.
Although, as I said, earlier in the season they fancied themselves and lost 3-2 at O'Connor to Monero Panthers, so who knows?
It's one of those wait-and-see things.
That's why we don't make predictions, Steve, because it makes us look like a mug, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Especially in this season of WMPL and NPL football in Canberra. It's been the most unpredictable season. In fact, I was thinking the other day that it's been predictably unpredictable because you've got Belconnen United as champions in this division. You've still got the top two, you think, at the start of the season, FC and Olympic in the men's, but the way they've got there hasn't been the most predictable. And here's DeMarco looking to thread one through, and defensively Bassa Silk was there. But we were getting to the top four that we thought we might get, but in the most unpredictable of ways.
In the men's or the women's?
In both, to be honest.
Yeah. Look, that's right, and I think the interest that the teams that may miss out have created has made the competition a lot more entertaining. And certainly in both comps, in both the women's and the men's, you're not 100% certain of which way a result will go.
We'd like to see these sides build on that next year as well and come back even stronger. Here's Moore looking for Bunker. If she wins this, it could be interesting, but it might fall for her again. She's been eased off it again defensively by Bassa Silk. That's been a good battle, Bunker and Bassa Silk, hasn't it?
She's done well. I thought DeMarco might have pulled the trigger herself in that last attack, but Bassa Silk doing exactly what she should be doing, covering her defenders and making sure that chances are snuffed out before they can actually materialise.
Pennyfield with the corner, swings it to the near post, might fall for Corbett on the edge of the box, closed down by Fauna. Now the break might be on. Here's Ryan, if they do this, get this right, but they don't. Percival snuffs it out at source. Lynch fires one goalwards and O'Brien is behind it. They had a 4-on-3 there if they could have worked that ball wide. Just a moment ago, Olympic. This bounce is going to be important. Ryan gets there ahead of Patterson. Here she goes, Vanessa Ryan opens it up. Looks to find McLaughlin, but there's more.
She's battled away all day, Ryan, without having a lot of reward. She hasn't had a game that she'd be overly pleased with, I'm sure, but she hasn't stopped trying. It's just that last, or the end product. She gets around people and then she can't find a final pass or a first touch goes astray. But she's always available, so you've got to give her a lot of credit.
Canberra Olympic subs warming up to our left. So 2-0, Steve. Where do you see, or can you see Gungahlin getting away back into this?
I think it's down to DeMarco and Bunker. There doesn't appear to be a lot of goal scorers outside those two, or creative influences outside those two. I think some of the, like Percival, I think has really played well as in a defensive capacity. She's worked the socks off, but despite a lot of possession, they're not creating a lot, and Olympic look pretty comfortable. Once again, we see Ryan trying to persevere down that right-hand side.
You're watching live football on Bar TV Sports. WMPL from Gungahlin enclosed. Gungahlin United 0, Canberra Olympic 2. A brace from Alexia Forna. The difference between the two teams as we stand. And Olympic going 3 points clear. We're in for a rip-roaring last 30 minutes. Plenty of time, Steve.
Oh, time is not the issue at this stage. I mean, 2 goals is not insurmountable, but you've got to be creating chance, and at the moment Gungahlin aren't. That's not to say they won't, but they need to step it up a little bit now in this last half an hour.
Here they come with DeMarco looking to slide it through for Jacobson, who's made the run. Falls for Pennyfield. Forced wide.
She's been well marshalled down this Olympic left. She hasn't really got into the game, hasn't been able to cause any damage at all.
Jameson gives it away.
But good pressure. Good pressure.
We've got a throw in. And there was Pennyfield looking to hook one into the penalty area, but it's going to fade away comfortably for a goal kick.
Yeah, they'll need to be doing better than that if they want to get back into it. That was just a hit and hope.
Going to have the first change of the afternoon, I think, very shortly. Grace Basser-Silk is hobbling off. Straight down the tunnel, and Shaquille Chong is coming on.
Basser-Silk's been good. We mentioned her earlier in the second half that her covering in defence has been excellent. Another strong game. She played quite well the last time we played her, so she's been a consistent performer for this Olympic side.
Bit of a reshuffle, with Chong coming out to the left-hand side in front of the main grandstands. Picked up by Patterson. Back to Moore. Nicely done towards Lynch. Dawson was in with a touch, and Ryan was there as well. But Corbett snaps into the challenge and wins it back. Patterson for Gungahlin again, like they did in the first half. They responded quite well to conceding. Just need to find that final ball to find a way back into this contest.
Yeah, certainly Lynch and Corbett have battled away. Just a little bit lacking in terms of quality, and on the counter, Olympic looked to have their measure.
McLaughlin's ball wide to Forna. She looks to bring it forward. Running at Jacobson. McLaughlin. Guo. McLaughlin once more. Chong's made the run. McLaughlin almost found her. Good piece of defending at the back by Sander. And Pennyfield kicks it out because we've got a bit of an injury in the middle of the field. I think Rachel Corbett struggling.
Yeah, she was down early in the first half, wasn't she? And it's that knee heavily strapped may well be the problem that's caused her to sort of look for a halt in play. Although she seems to be wanting to carry on.
Jamison's down here on the touchline waiting for the throw-in. And Corbett looks okay, so that was all a bit strange.
Yeah, no such thing as sportsmanship. They weren't giving the ball back, were they?
I think Olympic kicked it out, to be fair. So
oh, did they?
I think they did, yeah. So they just went on the attack instead.
If they kicked it out, how could they get the throw?
Well, they can't have then, yeah. That's pretty, yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe they didn't know. Pennyfield kicked it out, didn't she? Yeah, who knows then? Yeah, they weren't giving it back, like you said. Rajab puts it forward. I wouldn't put it past some of the officials.
I'm glad you said that.
Absolutely. So, Steve, at 2-0, and with Olympic looking strong at the moment, with their full team back, if they do hold on, they do get to finals, you think they can make a real go of it?
I think any team that gets into the top 4 can do some damage. You only have to go back to last year and the grand final when Belconnen went in as red-hot favourites, having wrapped up the minor premiership at a similar stage of the season as they've done this time against CFC. But eventually were beaten on penalties by a CFC side that actually, looked dead and buried with a few minutes to go. So if it can happen once, it can happen again. And I think the teams that are in the top four, or that might make up the final top four, certainly have the wherewithal to actually...
So here's Chong. Oh. A good effort, first time from Shakil Chong. Sorry to cut you off there, Steve, but she snuck in there, and that's a great save from Tanini.
Yeah, she'd be happy with that. It's certainly better than the one that she's led in, so she's redeemed herself on a couple of occasions now. Well done, Tanini. But yeah, like I was saying, there's no reason why an Olympic side, the Canberra United side, that might go into the semi-finals, any of them could actually cause the upset.
Olympic on the prowl, looking for a third. McGann's, and in the end she's helped out defensively, and it's another corner on this near side.
Great ball in from the corner. McLaughlin hit that with some venom. It caused all sorts of dramas in the Gungahlin penalty area.
Fauna's turn to take one from this near side. Another decent looking one towards the far post. McLaughlin wins the header but can't direct it goalwards, and it stays at 2-0 with 24 minutes to play here. Looking at the benches as well, we've already seen Shakil Chong come on. We've got Nikki Bailey, Kristen Neo and Olivia Catherall on the Canberra Olympic bench. But Gungahlin United, Manessa Humphreys, Ruby Gambale and Nat McCann. Humphreys, 2 goals to her name this season. She might be an option to help them get them back into this one.
Well, I would have thought that in the next sort of 5 to 10 minutes, it's got to be throw caution to the wind and just try and get something back. Unless they think they can pick up the points in the next 2 games, the season really is on the line.
It's going to be tough, like I said, to turn it around from here, because even if Olympic was surprised by Monero next week, Gungahlin need a 10-goal swing to go above them on the ladder against Worden Western. I don't think Worden Western will be standing for that. Here's Chong challenging in the penalty area. Sander completes the clearance. Pennyfield finds Sander again, and Jameson in a more advanced role, still defending well. Pettyfield, Sander, and Percival. Nowhere to go though.
No.
Good pressure from Olympic.
Might have been better playing that first time down the line and at least be playing in the other half, but a little bit of composure there, and then the final ball just lets them down.
Guo looks to turn it around the corner. Dawson in with the challenge, comes back to Guo. Looking to feed Jameson, but back there was Pettyfield. Percival. Now DeMarco. A little bit of space for her. Shut down almost immediately by Fauna, though.
They've obviously worked out at half-time that she's the key to the Gungahlin chances, and they've really kept her very, very quiet in this second period.
Not been quite as effervescent as she has been in the first half. Percival. Sander, tight to the touchline. Here is DeMarco. Looking to get away from Jameson. Better build-up, but it's still Olympic are so snappy into the tackles, and Fauna concedes a foul. A little shoulder shove on DeMarco.
Yeah, little person, big person foul that, I think.
You're saying Alexia Fauna's a big person? There wasn't much in it.
Compared to DeMarco, she's a little bit taller, isn't she?
A little bit taller. Free kick here. Opportunity for Moore, who swings it in. Good one too. Bunker almost got on the end of it.
And that was the chance they needed. She really should have made contact there, and if she does, it's got to be a goal. Great ball in.
Not looking for excuses for it, but it did come out of shadow into the sun, didn't it? Maybe she just took her eye off it at the vital moment. If she'd got a touch on it, though, would have been real problems for Gabby O'Brien.
I think any touch at all puts it in the back of the net, because the pace is on the ball, the goalkeeper's moving towards that post, and it's going to take it away from her. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, she's failed to make proper contact.
Terrific ball in from Olivia Moore, though.
Great.
Really fizzed it across, didn't she?
Great ball.
Sort of ball you dream of as a forward.
She's done everything right apart from make contact. Her run was terrific. She's kept herself on side. She's got him behind.
She certainly has been else as a shot from Jacobson comes in and goes wide. That one for Mitch Stevens and Tuggeranong United could be critical.
Well, it's against 10 men, you would expect them, I guess, to be piling on the pressure. And Sosa's had a great year in front of the goals. He must be close to double figures if he isn't already there. And it's even more galling that an ex-Belconnen player gets the goal.
I didn't want to mention that to you, Steve. Sosa Heggie, huge goal for Tuggeranong United, 1-0 up over Monero Panthers. That'll keep them in the 4 heading to next week's match against Canberra FC. Small game in midweek between Tigers and Gungahlin as well. If Tigers win that one, we're all set next week for a massive game down in Nijong. His bunker for Gungahlin looking to get away back in. Fires one in. Brian got a touch on it. Might come for Corbett. It doesn't. Pennyfield's there too, but she can't keep a shot down, and it's scooped up over the crossbar.
Well, they've had 2 chances in the last couple of minutes to get back in the game and spurned them both. That they may live to regret.
For Gabby Wilkin, Tigers FC in the men's, their game on Wednesday takes on huge significance now as well, doesn't it? They get 3 points there against Gungahlin. They'll go 4th on the ladder, just ahead of Belconnen, heading into the match at Nijong between Tigers and yourselves next week, Steve.
Yeah, they. I mean, obviously, very unfortunate with the weather conditions on Friday night that the game was called off when they were 2-0 up. But they got a chance on Wednesday night to re-establish a top 4 spot.
McLaughlin running up more. Still going McLaughlin into the pace of Meg McLaughlin, causing all sorts of issues.
And she's lasted pretty well for a girl that's been under the weather a bit.
Wonder if she'll get a break before the end of the match.
I think if they can get to 3-0 and the game looks comfortable, they might think about giving her a rest.
Yeah, cold and flu tablets, honey tea, and she'll sleep well tonight, I'm sure. Fauna, who's enjoyed herself this afternoon, giving Eddie Senatori a headache of a different kind. Once Field and Mara back fit and ready to go as well. Alexia Fauna putting her hand up for a starting position in the team as well.
Foul throw, I think. Ref's not seen it.
Flag still up. The referee ignoring. Still looking. The flag is up. Eventually, Shane Lyson-Smith sees what's going on.
Yeah, come back for a foul throw. But yeah, you're right. Fauna's done nothing wrong. She's taken her opportunity with both hands. But it's the pleasant sort of headache that most coaches would want.
See if you can fit them all into the team. Don't need to play with defenders anymore anyway. It's all about the entertainment factor, Steve.
That's the Diego Maradona philosophy, isn't it?
It's what we like to see on Bar TV Sports. We like goals. We do enjoy the tactical side of the football match as well. Here's Pennyfield to DeMarco. Jamieson wins the first challenge. Swung in to the penalty area by Jacobson. But nobody in a black and white shirt on the far post. Time ticking away. Just over 17 minutes to play, and Canberra Olympic looking like they're going to head into round 20 with a 3-point advantage over Gungahlin United. 2 rounds to play after this one. You'd think with the goal difference, an Olympic win next week, if it stays this way, will do them.
That'll see
them into the 4.
I would have thought so. And certainly, whatever Gungahlin have been able to offer today, Olympic view, the second goal was a bit of a killer, but in true Gungahlin spirit, they've kept going. And just recently, in fact, they've had a couple of decent chances to get back into it, but it's, as you suggest, time's just slipping away now. Time's the biggest enemy.
Well, Bunker almost got on the end of that Moore free kick, and then she stung the palms of O'Brien with the one from the angle. So there is hope, and there's plenty of time. We've been here before in situations where there's been late goals in both men's and women's competitions. Nat McCann is about to join us for Gungahlin United on the touchline here.
And this suggests that they're going to go for it.
May well be. Let's see who's coming off. No one seems to be putting their hands up. Is it Moore coming off here? I think it is. Substitution. Can't really see. In fact, it's Patterson, is it? I'm not sure. I think it is Patterson from the left-hand side that's come over. And it is McCann to replace her. She's done well. Alex Patterson looks a bit tired.
Yeah, but it looks like a defender off for a midfielder, so maybe caution to the wind.
And why not?
And why not?
May as well go for it at this stage. Here's McLaughlin. She'll be hoping that she can catch them on the break and add to her tally. She's going to get herself a corner. Olivia Moore came across to defend well. Olivia Moore, I remember a few years ago now. Well, she would have been really young, about 15, I'd imagine, in the one of the grand finals, keeping Michelle Heyman quiet for for over extra, winning to extra time, 2 goals in the last 2 minutes, I think, from Heyman. Won it for Belconnen, and here she is still kicking on a few years later. Still very young, of course. Here she's defending. Chance perhaps in the penalty area and snatched at by Beck Keating. Lucky for you.
Yeah, I was warming up.
Beck Keating yesterday suggested to Steve Forshaw that if she scored, he needed to go into a South American goal scenario. We thought Beck Keating never scores, and she's not going to get much more of a chance here than that one. Here's Gual coming off.
I mean, Heyman is one of Australia's better strikers over the last 10 years. Controversially missing from the W League this year and moving on.
She did get player of the match there, Olivia Moore, in that match for that feat. Well, as I said, I think she was only about 15 at the time. Angelo Marillet was the head coach of Monero Panthers back then. He's now up in Sydney doing his thing. Bring on the next generation of footballers. Some good coaches from Canberra floating around doing their thing now. Warren Grieve up at Manly United for a while, wasn't he? And they helped them to a championship. Now he's moved on to coach the coaches. Yeah,
he's working, I think, directly with the FFA. He's just got his pro diploma. Congratulations to Warren for that.
And just showing that plenty of talent coming through Canberra in the coaching ranks as well.
Pat McCann's up there as well.
Pat McCann at Sydney FC, isn't he? Well, last time I heard. Often Olivier Catherall has come on for Olympic. Who's sick?
Yeah, she hasn't done a lot wrong, that's for sure.
McLaughlin. Strength to hold it up, but there's more. Seeing her off as well. That's a good ball forward from Sander to Bunker. Lovely touch. Brings it under control. Looks to get away, but Fauna sticks out a leg. And she's done really well in the middle of the park today. Not only has she battled well, she's scored the 2 goals. That makes a difference. Free kick given.
Fauna's been excellent. Absolutely top class. A couple of great goals. Well, one certainly great goal and one a little bit fortunate perhaps, but she's battled away in midfield. Her distribution's been good. Her work rate's been excellent. She's been enthusiastic. You couldn't ask for much more from a coaching point of view.
It's free. He catches it back in and Corbett helps it away up towards Lynch. Now Bunker. She tried to swing it crossfield towards where DeMarco was waiting, but it bounced off of Catherall. Her first involvement. And a timely one as well, because that ball over the top might have caused some issues.
Forward movement and now got numbers back so it can defend in depth.
As the shadows lengthen over Gungahlin enclosed. Are they lengthening over Gungahlin season at the moment? Is there a way back? Corbett looking to find a way through. Jacobson in the area turns. It's been blocked by Jameson. Won't quite go for a corner. It's in fact spun back towards Catherall, who rather tentatively pokes it out of play.
Great option. I think Pennyfield was free on this right-hand side if they could have found her, but turned back inside and had the shot blocked. But again, reasonable opening from Gungahlin.
DeMarco battling with McLaughlin. McCann. DeMarco once more. It's McCann, the Gungahlin substitutes, the first and only one they've made so far. Jacobson, McCann again. Looking to clip it down this side. Pennyfield, better build up this. Sander comes inside Chong, can't get past Jameson though, but McCann's there once again. Sense of urgency in this Gunners attack. Sander, when she's turned herself too tight to the touchline. A bit of a lead off for Olympic.
Yeah. One of the things you drum into players from a very early age is to try and play the way you face, and if you can't get a turn in, just play and move.
Fauna in the middle of the park. Loses out. DeMarco looks for Bunker. Tries to flick it through towards Lynch, and that was a nice ball. And
yeah, good idea.
Just rolled away from Charlotte Lynch,
yeah.
But there is signs. There's still life in Gungahlin with 10 minutes to go. Eddie Senatore will be hoping that one of his players can put their foot on the ball and get rid of it, because at the moment they're camped in their own half. Bunker wins it off Catherall. Percival sends it in there, and Vecchi will just see that one out for a goal kick, and chance for Olympic to just quieten things down a little bit. We're going to see Nikki Bailey in a moment.
The Gungahlin are mounting some serious pressure, but the quality of their final ball has just not quite been up to scratch, or not what they need in this desperate situation. But all credit to them, they're still plugging away.
They need to find something, and something soon though. 9 minutes to play, 2-0 down. Here's McLaughlin looking to get away from Moore. Prods it towards Dawson, who's beaten in the challenge. Rojan wins it in midfield. Nice ball forward. That's to Ryan, who's got goal side of her marker. There's two players inside of her. McLaughlin's one of them. Chong on the far post. Ryan on her own. Onto that left foot, but the shot lacked the requisite power. Here's Dawson winning it back, though. Now finding McLaughlin.
Defenders.
Bailey's going to come on for Vanessa Ryan.
Yeah, not an unpredictable change. Vanessa Ryan, like I was saying earlier on, she's worked her socks off, she's tried her best, but it hasn't quite been her day. And we saw that in that last attack where she turned back inside and had the ball pinch. And it's the sort of thing that's been recurring for her.
Nikki Bailey, who played in the match before this as well. Fairly recognisable with that hair. Jacobson volleys that clear. Should be hoping that she can show Eddie Senatore what she's got in the first grade. Concedes a free kick.
She certainly stands out, does she not?
Certainly does. Fair amount of footballing ability as well. Nikki Bailey, as I said, played in the game before this, and it's been a regular in the women's reserve grade. Cameo performances for the first team. Rojan stabs it forward. Dawson back to Keating. Jameson. Chong, very tight, but they're happy to move it about. And Keating will spread the play, and that's well done by Olympic. Catherall. For Bailey. Was well intercepted by first last 6 or 7 minutes.
think in the first half was probably the best player on the park. She's had a quieter second half, but she sneaked in behind the Olympic back four there. Perhaps touch of offside about it, but she's finished it really well and breathed some life back into the Gungahlin season. And it's press on now.
Can they find a way back into this? Dawson finds Bailey. Her ball forward. Defensively, Moore needs to be alert. Percival. Bailey putting her under pressure. McCann. Bigger got there too, as they had in the previous two games. Forner, good run outside for Bailey if she can find her. Here is Nikki Bailey. Great chance for Bailey. She's got McLaughlin square if she picks her out. But
and now Gungahlin, it's up to them to push on now. They've got themselves back in the game through some great endeavour, and the chances that they missed earlier in the second half are probably coming home to roost a little bit, but with only a couple of minutes to go.
I'm sure there'll be nothing subtle about this from Victoria Jamieson. Just sent up the field looking for McLaughlin. Might fall for Forner. McCann's there with her. Percival. Jamieson wins the header. DeMarco challenging with Keating. It might fall for Pennyfield. It does. DeMarco back to Pennyfield. Rojan gets a foot in. On the halfway line, the only Gungahlin player there. Everybody else flooding the area. The ball swung into the box. It bounces. Corbett's there. Forner gets a foot in. Prods it up towards McLaughlin.
And this is danger now.
Well, if she can turn more, she might be away here, McLaughlin. She's got pace. Moore is quick as well. Olivia Moore defensively. McLaughlin's got a stride on her. And Moore gets back to deny.
In trade as a not, and Moore's done well to stay with her, but like you were saying before, she can do it with Heyman, she can do it at this level.
Excellent piece of defending from Olivia Moore, and I'm sure McLaughlin, there's her experience as well, going across to that side and the corners on this side. Forner will take it. We're into the final 90 seconds plus stoppage time. Olympic looking to put it to bed. They lead 2-1 in this critical match between 4th and 5th. Forner's corner chipped in. It's a good one towards Rojan. It's going to fall for Jacobson, though. Just smashes it downfield. DeMarco, willing chaser. Keating happy to send it back from where it came originally. Jacobson puts her foot on the ball. DeMarco, nice touch. Sander bunkers ahead of her. The run in the middle is good as well. It is in there towards it. It's a chance perhaps for Lynch on the turn. Couldn't get a shot away, but she's going to get a throw in right by the corner flag.
Good move, wasn't it? Great move. They got in behind them again, and a little bit of luck. That might have just dropped on the right foot and back of the net.
40 seconds plus stoppage time. DeMarco looking to dribble her way through. She's going to get herself another throw. It's time ticking away. Is there a dramatic conclusion to this one? Can Gungahlin keep their season alive? Corbett, DeMarco, Pennyfield takes a touch, looks to pick across. Good one too. Bunker flicks it on. It might come here for Lynch, but she couldn't keep the shot down. And was that the moment for Gungahlin United?
You'd have to suggest it probably was as we tick into injury time. Lynch taken up in a great spot in the middle of the box, and they found her, but unfortunately her touch and finish not quite what they required.
No rush for Canberra Olympic to get rid of this one. Beck Keating, as she's done all afternoon, will take the goal kick. There's no one anywhere near the halfway line, which is where I'm suggesting this ball's going to be somewhere going. Close to. McLaughlin's jogging across. She'll like to get a touch as far as she can. Keating just... Chong nods it towards McLaughlin. Moore's there. Falls for Sander. Steps in field and twists and turns, nowhere to go though. Nicely done. Down the line by Corbett. Jameson's there. Fauna, Corbett's battling away. Chong rather slices it backwards. It's all a bit scrappy. It's McCann who's going to pick it up. Touch in field to Jacobson. Bailey's back to deny her. Still Jacobson. Bunker was square. Jacobson battling with Dawson, who sends it up the field. And the referee, Shane Lyson-Smith, brings proceedings to an end. And it's Canberra Olympic who are in pole position, and you would suggest have almost all but booked their place in the top four unless something remarkable happens in the final 2 weeks of the season, Steve.
Yeah, congratulations to Olympic. They've, in the end, clung on. And defeated a very, very determined and brave Gungahlin. And 2-0 down, but they came back into the game. They created chances before they scored, and then they got one back, but time was their enemy, and it probably was too little too late. But good game, great game.
Tonini did make that error for the second goal. She did make it up for it though with cracking saves from Lily Dawson and Shaquille Chong to keep her team in the contest, to allow them to have that finish where they almost pulled themselves level.
Yeah, there was in the second half there was chances at both ends, and it's just a little unfortunate the winning goal has come under such well, shall we say,
unfortunate
circumstances. Yeah, but both teams have, given everything they've got themselves into positions where they might have scored. For Olympic, they've got the two. From a Gungahlin point of view, they've had the chances to actually get themselves back into the game and even just pinch a point to keep the season alive. But in the end, well done, Olympic.
Thanks for your company again, Steve. Good luck next week. We might see you down in Nijong for what should be a cracking final proper round of matches in the Men's Premier League. There's still plenty more to go. Of course, the Tigers Gungahlin midweek game rearranged for this week. Tigers need to play Olympic again. Olympic playing Canberra FC, which might be a final shootout as well. In the women's football, there's still 3 rounds to go. Plenty of football left. And congratulations to Belconnen United again. Anthony Jaggernick and his team wrapping up the league championship with a 4-0 win at Woden Western today. Here at Gungahlin enclosed, a brace from Alexia Fauna, 1 in each half, has given Olympic a 2-1 win. Either a late goal from Natalie DeMarco, giving us a fairly exciting conclusion to the match. But it's finished. Gungahlin United 1, Canberra Olympic 2. Good ending. Yeah. What was the final score in the tournament? 1-0. 1-0 Tuggies. 1-0 recovery.
Yeah, that's still
Should have rained.
What is off?
Call me tomorrow about CFCB Olympic. About the bus.
See you later.
See you guys, no worries, see you next time.